Okay, we've all heard it before. It's that ever so satisfying plink of an achievement unlocking, notification glittering at the bottom of the screen as we pump our fists into the air and flash a toothy grin to absolutely, nobody in the room. Sometimes there is no more rewarding of an experience than staying up all night battling hordes of enemies, palms sweating and fingers blistering at the sheer insanity and intensity that is completing the next game on your list. The coveted 1000 gamerscore, a sign that you have literally completed every superlative extra bounty existing in the game. Over the years, video games of all sorts have adopted some sort of achievement system in order to help extend the replay value of their titles, forcing the gamer to try modes or alternative playthroughs they weren't originally intending on exploring. Given the history of one specific achievement tracking mechanism, gamerscore, I thought it would be interesting to explore the history of this addicting and insatiable concept. On this episode of the Mega Man Cave, I want you to all sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy yourselves as we take a trip into the world of Xbox Gamerscore. Achievements have always existed, in one way, shape, or form, since the earliest days of video games. Although in the 1980s, in the world of Atari, Intellivision, and ColecoVision, achievements may not have been as instantly rewarding or gratifying, programmers still had their own creative ways of making gamers feel accomplished or successful during their playthrough. Atari's Adventure, created by gaming pioneer Warren Robinett, featured the world's first Easter egg, or in this case, a secret room detailing credits of Warren himself for creating the game. Though not an achievement in the stereotypical sense, you could argue that this Easter egg gave birth to generations of similar secrets and unlockables that eventually paved the way for the achievements we now know and love. Other companies like Activision allowed players to take pictures of their high scores and submit them, actually causing these companies to produce badges if the player passed a certain score threshold. It would be the equivalent of wearing your gamerscore and impressive achievements around with you everywhere you went. The company, Twin Galaxies, was founded in 1982 by widely known video game legend Walter Day, and allowed gamers from around the world to exercise their skills in hopes of finding their way to the top of the earliest video game leaderboards. It was a company that revolutionized the way games were played in the early days, and even became affiliated with the Guinness Book of World Records, putting video games in the limelight early like they had never seen before. Many games into the 90s and today featured secrets that offered players a reward of being one of the few to uncover the mystery. The -1 world in Super Mario Bros., the Chris Houlihan room in A Link to the Past, or the double agent seal rescue in Splinter Cell, all of these were some sort of achievement once gamers found them in the early days of gaming. While this wasn't technically the same as earning a badge that alerted others of your video game badassery, it offered a unique sense of achievement that you could show your buddies during late-night gaming escapades. Easter eggs, like on the aforementioned Adventure, were growing increasingly popular over the years. Games on all consoles often catered to rewarding gamers by incorporating some sort of secret room, mission, cheat code, or a character based on what the gamer had unlocked or completed up until that point. But were these secrets and Easter eggs really enough to encourage the gamer to press on? At what point was a game laid out to pasture due to lack of interest? The early 2000s and the rise of the 7th generation of console answered this burning question and a whole lot more. Microsoft, desperately trying to pull even with Sony from their underwhelming Xbox, released the Xbox 360 on November 22, 2005. Gamers everywhere rejoiced at their chance to nab a console from the newest generation prior to the holidays coming up. The 360 was impressive, boasting 18 launch titles varying widely from sports, racing, action-adventure games, and was the adrenaline shot Microsoft needed to arguably win the 7th generation of consoles. Their revamped Xbox Live interface was simplistic but gave you everything you needed to jump online and play. That's what gamers really wanted. But there was one other thing that I noticed when I first got my 360 back then. After I personally went home and turned on the console for the first time, there was a number associated with your gamertag. Of course, mine said 0 at the time. My whole gaming world was about to be turned upside down. When the 360 was first announced at E3 in 2005, achievements seemed more like a backdrop of the console itself. In fact, Robbie Bach, Senior Vice President of the Home and Entertainment Division of Microsoft, only mentioned achievements briefly after all the other components that made up the gamer card were addressed. Few could have predicted the undeniable effect that Xbox's gamerscore was going to have going forward, and it certainly exploded very quickly. There was just something about having a numerical score attached to your gamertag that made it so much more satisfying to pop that next big achievement and shamelessly brag to your friends when they load up your gamertag on Xbox Live. Instead of just having achievements, Microsoft's gamerscore had the unique benefit of gaining consumer reliability. Even after the PS3 came out, many gamers around the world found themselves favoring the 360 for non-exclusive titles, since it worked to increase their gamerscore. I, for one, was certainly guilty of this. Achievements themselves offer a varying degree of difficulty, originality, and creativity. Some were naturally earned through the normal game progression, while others became obtainable by doing something completely random or unorthodox for the game you were playing. Some of the proudest achievements I ever got were for completing games on the hardest difficulty, something you could show off to your friends as they perused your gamer card online. Others consisted of doing some pretty ridiculous stuff, like hog-tying a woman and leaving her for dead on railroad tracks in Red Dead Redemption, or picking up some poop out of a toilet in Duke Nukem Forever. Yes, it's called the Turd Burglar achievement. I'm not kidding. As a mostly Xbox gamer obsessed with achievements during the early days of the 7th generation, I looked into games I wouldn't have even fathomed playing were it not for the easy 1000 gamer score to complete the title. Many people look to the popular achievement game, Avatar: The Last Airbender, where you could literally complete the game's achievements in under 5 minutes, or Backyard Football, another extremely easy completion. Unfortunately, sometimes the point values assigned to certain achievements relative to their difficulty in obtaining didn't make the most sense. In 2008, London-based web developer Rich Stone got tired of how achievements were being scored and took matters into his own hands by creating the website True Achievements, a way to accurately portray a gamer's real gamer score, with difficulty taken into account. The site uses a relatively straightforward formula, factoring in how many people have actually earned a specific achievement compared to how many have played the game, and spits out a true achievement ratio, boosting the point value of those more difficult and coveted achievements. The site exploded in popularity, and went on to become a thriving location for gamers to come and ogle at some individual's insurmountable True Achievement score. True Achievements was truly a special site when it came to gamerscore on the Xbox brand. It featured an expansive leaderboard, forums, reviews, and much, much more. Gamers could go on a game's page and scroll through the list of achievements and see how many people have unlocked it from around the world. It's pretty fascinating. Solutions to achievements could also be created, offering those who were struggling to unlock something a unique and convenient way to strategize and conquer that last 15 gamer score they were missing for a game. Naturally, with the hype of achievements live and well, there would be some powerhouse gamers that would rise to the occasion and sink their literal lives into getting the world's top gamer score. Enter Ray Cox, or better known online as Stallion83. Stallion began achievement hunting in 2006 before it was cool. With the exception of a few minor setbacks, he has held the record for highest gamerscore in the world for about 12 years before seemingly retiring from competitive achievement getting earlier this year. He remembered his first achievement that he ever got as the Cluster Buster achievement in Hexic, and even though at the time he didn't really like the game, there was something about that sound of an achievement popping on the screen that became addicting to him. Ever since that day, he always strove to be the first person to hit a million gamerscore, and officially did so in 2014. Perhaps the best thing about Stallion is that, outside of making achievement hunting his full-time career, he's a relatively normal dude. You definitely don't have to get the highest gamerscore in the world without playing some real duds. In an interview with an internet tech website, Ray chronicled the most shameful achievement hunting experience of his career. The absolute lamest thing I've done for achievements is play the Disney Sing It games. Let's just say that isn't the best move to impress your significant other. She was giving me strange looks. Yes, Ray, I can imagine. In fact, he has probably played and completed some of the lamest games in existence thanks to his career, which is something I find both necessary and self-deprecating. Despite all the fame, pressure, and occasional embarrassment, Stallion has mostly stayed positive. Ironically, he ended up losing his top spot of gamerscore during his honeymoon in 2017, only to reclaim the top spot and become the first person to hit 2 million gamerscore as well. An undeniable focus on achievements helped the 360 set a place in gaming history. However, there was a noticeable prioritization shift of gamerscore on individuals' profiles with the release of the Xbox One. Many gamers, myself included, have found it much less alluring to go for achievements in the 8th generation, as the UI for the Xbox Live has really kind of become less friendly towards the achievement system as a whole. Perhaps this is on purpose. Perhaps it was a minor oversight. At any rate, this change, combined with the lack of Xbox One units sold compared to PS4 or Switches, has really reduced the achievement hunting craze of the late 2000s to a trickle. The number of active users on True Achievements has dropped almost 40% and doesn't really show any sign of letting up. Overall, the achievement system Microsoft unveiled left a huge impact on the gaming industry, affecting the games we play and how we play them. Sony's trophy system and Valve and Steam achievements can offer an equal pleasure in gaming, but for some reason, for me, it was just something about seeing that score linked to your gamertag that gave you a real sense of accomplishment. It's honestly dependent on context and whether they're beneficial to gaming as a whole, due in part to their addictive nature and links to depression, but I for one enjoy them. Will achievements ever hit that level of hype they ascertained in the 2000s? Unlikely. But perhaps another system or structure will bust out onto the scene in the 9th gen that is just as revolutionary. If you enjoyed what you saw here and you want to give me some feedback on ways we can improve or things that you liked, please leave a comment in the section below. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and ringing that bell for notifications so that my videos come to the top of your list. As always, guys, this is the Mega Man Cave signing out. Happy spelunking.